This is Eric Muadhin for the weekend of December 28th, 2013. Let's take a look at the markets here. For the week, the Nasdaq was up 1.26%. The Dow was up 1.5% as it followed through on the breakout, as you can see here. Nice breakout. Week number two of that breakout, which still looks very good. S&P 500, you can see, was up 1.27% for the week. So net, a nice week for the market. Now let's take a look at a stock that has done well over the last couple of weeks. It is VISN. I want to bring this up because everybody's talking about Twitter's recent moves, the sharp rise and Friday's sharp drop. But really there's some other action in the market. For example, take a look at this stock, which for the week was up 81%. For the month, the stock is up 250%, and Friday the stock was up 28%. Now we had this as a buy during this move here, so our entry point was here at about $11, $11.10, and since then we've been at least able to take part of this move, which has seen the stock have a very nice run. So even though the media is pushing us to talk about some common names, it is true that some stocks are doing well quietly, and this is an example of a stock like that. Let's take a look at the markets here. We're going to begin by taking a look at the Nasdaq, and as long as the Nasdaq has its weekly RSI staying above 69.10 in this area here, this just means the market is strong, and the market is going to continue pushing higher until it can work its way off this level here. So as long as it's staying above this level here, above 69.10 on the weekly, expect the market to continue moving higher. If you take a look at the Nasdaq from a daily view, you see that now we don't have the negative divergence. This was the negative divergence, but the market broke out, and ever since we broke out above this line, so this means that there's no more negative divergence. The market is making higher highs, and the technicals are agreeing with the market, which means that it is possible for this market to continue pushing higher as long as it remains above that 69.10 level. If you take a look at the Dow weekly, same thing. The Dow, of course, like I said, is above 16,086.41, which was this previous weekly closing high. So this is a very nice breakout. The market continues pushing higher, especially if the market can move above 69.10 here. You'd expect this to continue pushing higher. Otherwise, we have to watch out to see whether the market is going to form a double top here on the RSI on the weekly. And if that's the case, if we get a double top, then we might start wondering whether the market is going to take a pullback, or at least going to see some pullback, at least to test that 50-day moving average. If you take a look at the Dow from a daily view, again, even on the Dow, we see that this line here was where the negative divergence should have been, but the market has moved above that. So this breakout is actually very strong because the technicals are agreeing with the price action, which means that the possibility for further movement to the upside is actually very likely. So let's not all assume that the market has only one choice, which is to go down. This market can choose to continue pushing higher because the technicals, quite frankly, are not broken. If you take a look at the S&P 500 again, week number 2 of the breakout, so that's a follow through. That's a confirmed breakout follow through. That's a strong market. If you take a look at the weekly RSI, see the market is trading above 69.10. Again, all that is just a sign of strength, which means the market can move higher if it so wants to do so. If you take a look at the S&P 500 daily, just like the Dow and the Nasdaq, what looked like was going to be resistance here, the market actually broke out. And so we are making technical breakout here on the RSI, and prices are also making all-time highs. This is a strong market. Now on the daily, if we have a pullback, especially if it's a sharp pullback that brings this market back below this line, which I'm gonna draw in green here, if it brings it back below that line and we have this looking uniform, in other words it was above the line and back below it, then this is probably a trap. But for now, we don't know what the market is going to do. The assumption here is that at least we don't have negative divergence, so this move to new highs is actually being confirmed by the technicals, which means the market has the opportunity to move higher if it so chooses to do so. If you take a look at the MACDs, you see here MACD crossover above zero. That shows that this market is actually strong and could continue pushing higher. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000 from a daily view. And what you see here, now I don't know about this action here. This could have been a fake or wrong data, but if that's real, I don't know. But what I want to show you on this daily chart is we seem to be hitting the top lines here, and that could be something that could start a pullback here with this resistance there. So this makes sense if we pull back slightly, maybe to test this downside support line here. So I would say that even given the fact that the daily RSI here is still making lower lows, we are making lower lows on the technicals, as you can see, lower lows on the technicals, not by much, but it's lower lows on the technicals, while prices are making higher highs. So if this remains the case, and if this pulls back here, then this is going to confirm short-term resistance and a pullback, also short-term resistance on this line which connects the top lines in the price channel here. So this could be a chart that I can lean on for, that could indicate that the market wants to pull back. Let's take a look at the Vix Daily. And on the Vix Daily, you'll notice that on the top lines here, I've talked about the fact that the market has been pulling back as far as the VIX is concerned. So like here, the market pulled back on the VIX, and the general market had a nice move recently. But now we see that if we take a look at this area here, which I'm now drawing in green, this area here in green is where the VIX has been finding support and moving high, just like it did here. This lows here was the low here and pushed the price higher. There was a low here, which is this lows here. We had a spike in the VIX, pullback in the market. We had this, once we moved above this green line here, which was this general area here, we had a move also in the VIX. So somewhere around this level, it would not surprise me that if the VIX can hold this level, that eventually it finds enough energy and strength to coil the RSI to the upside, which also means movement to the upside. Also, don't forget that the VIX has support coming from this line here, which connects the daily closing lows here, and recently here. So the fact that the VIX is recapturing this green line here, having moved below it, might suggest that this is a short-term low, and over time we might start at least creeping upside, which might just coincide with a pullback in the general market. Now let's take a look at shipping. Remember, I've been trying to prepare you guys for the fact that shipping could do well. Just want to show you what the charts look like for this sector. And let's begin with the daily here. Take a look at, we've been preparing ourselves for this sector to move higher, ever since it broke out of this wedge here. Initially, it looked like it was going to fail somewhere around here, but you can see we stuck with it, and it looks like this was a good choice to stay with the shipping sector, because you can see this would have been a move we would have missed. Very nice move there. If you take a look at the shipping sector from a weekly view now, from a weekly view, you see that now we have the 10-week moving average making a new high here, which just meant that now prices were going to make a fresh 52-week high, which is happening here. Looks very good. Take a look at the monthly. Now, is this the high? I don't know, but all I've been trying to tell you guys over the last couple of weeks is that if we break out above this level, which we have now done, and also moving above 50 here, would have led to a nice move on the shipping sector. And you can see this month up 15%, probably one of the best sectors in the market, all because it met our minimum requirement here with that breakout on the MACD, and also breakout here and again here on the MACD. So those two MACDs were giving us confirmation of strength, and the fact that we see that our RSI was also making a 3-year high here, confirming that this is where we needed to be, and this has proved to be good. Some of the sectors doing well, or some of the stocks doing well in this group, include stocks like this one here, which is up for the week 27%, nice move. For the month, this is shipping, for the month up 77%. Take a look at, finally we had DRYS move for us this week, up about as much as 30%, very nice. For the month, up 36%. Take a look at NM for the week, up 14% and probably slightly extended. For the month, up 45%, very good move there. Another stock in the group, TNK, up 5% for the week. For the month, probably slightly more than that, up 30%. And let's take one more, SBLK. For the week, up 6%, and for the month, up 37%. All I'm saying here is just because the stocks met the minimum requirement for that shipping sector, that was the reason why we were paying attention, and that seemed to have been a good choice. The reason why I want to show you that is we might also have to continue looking for new sectors that are doing something similar to that, just in case the market wants to move those sectors also.